Blade Runner is a type of blender, right? You mean it's a movie? Well, I haven't heard of it, so it must not be good. Ignorance is bliss.
An experiment. Nothing more. Nothing more. More human than human is our motto.
Welcome to Why We Like, the show where we dive deep and explore why we like a character, film, or show. I'm going to attempt to unpack three main themes in Blade Runner, like a kid on Christmas. Don't worry, if you haven't heard of it before, no one back in the 80s knew of it when it came out, and hardly anyone checked it out in 2017. So count yourself as one of the many who would rather see mindless robots blow each other up, rather than robots who question our humanity. But seriously, Blade Runner is one of the best films of all time, please check it out. Otherwise, you're worse than those who think Deckard is not a replicant. Because he clearly is. Let's dive into those insane themes and why we like them. Oh, and spoilers ahead. Question 1. What does it mean to be human? Blade Runner is a story of an old detective, Deckard, being employed by the police in a future Los Angeles to destroy renegade human-like robots called replicants. One of the many questions Blade Runner brings up is the idea of what it means to be human. The film will argue that our mind makes us human. It's not our bodies, but the separation of the body and mind. This is seen when Deckard is talking about memories or Roy is recalling his memories. This idea is called the duality of mind and body, or also known as the philosophy of mind. Thinkers such as Plato and Descartes argue for the duality, as well as religions like Hinduism. The mind and body are separate, therefore being human does not depend on the physical, but on the mindful. Therefore, the line between replicants and humans is thinned. Mind and body, according to Descartes, interact with each other and react from each other. Seth touches a hot stove, which is a physical event, and that causes pain, which is a mental event, and makes him yell, a physical event, which causes a fear and protectiveness of himself, which is a mental event. This sequence of events shows how the mind and body not only interact but are also separate. Blade Runner also argues that our memories make us human, and so does the philosopher John Locke. In Blade Runner, memories are implanted in replicants. They are then organically created beyond that of the individual, but they are also given a blank slate, something that John Locke also argued. Roy approached Tyrell looking for life. His way of seeing what it means to be human is living. St. Thomas Aquinas saw being human as being intricately connected to our desire for God. Once man realizes what his purpose is, as directed by his creator, he will be good, and vice versa, if man never realizes his purpose, he will be evil. Similarly, Roy does not know what his purpose is outside of living longer. When he approached his creator, Tyrell, he ends up killing his creator, an evil act, because he doesn't know what his purpose is. Question 2. Why are humans afraid of death? Roy's entire drive is his fear of death, and death is seen everywhere in Blade Runner. The replicants are deemed dangerous and must be killed. Roy fears death and wants to extend his life. And everyone is afraid of death. Humans fear death because it is unknown, painful, and we have no control over when it happens. Deckard's entire existence could be cut short by being a replicant. The dreary atmosphere in the film reeks of death and sadness, exasperating the depression associated with death. Blade Runner has death and fear of death as a central issue, and it engages us because we can relate to Roy and Deckard's motivations, respectively. Question 3. Why do we ask the meaning of humanity? We ask these enduring questions because it leads to deep thinking, discourse, and analysis. They make life engaging, interesting, and meaningful. It leads to us shaping our morals and what laws need to be enacted. It allows for change to happen in society. We ask these questions to understand our place in the world and universe. That's why films such as Blade Runner are really important. And science fiction is a great medium to explore these questions. Instead of watching a lecture or reading a philosophical book, Blade Runner addresses these types of questions in a grounded, realistic way. Science fiction can also ask these questions because it has the freedom to create a world that is beyond our own. It can create fantastical situations that are foreign to our world, but, like Blade Runner does, place us in a familiar enough world that we can see this actually happening. Conclusion. Blade Runner's themes and settings has made it more than a science fiction film. It is consistently listed as one of the top American films of all time and one of the best films of all time. It has spawned a sequel over 30 years later after the first was released. Since Blade Runner's release, it has greatly influenced other filmmakers and other film creators. This movie gained a fanatic fan base after a disappointing box office. But why do we like it? People like it because it combines genres, but more importantly, asks enduring questions about who we are as humans and what makes us human. These themes that question our humanity, our place in the world, and our fear of death are ones that we'll always be asking as long as we exist. Sure, there are plenty of other themes in Blade Runner, but these three are some of the main ones. We are drawn to answer these questions because we have been asking them for thousands of years. Religion and philosophy have all tried answering these questions, but Ridley Scott effectively used the medium of science fiction in a film noir style to explore them. That is why we like Blade Runner. Thanks for watching, everybody. What did you think of Blade Runner? Did you see Blade Runner 2049? What are some of your favorite parts about the show? Leave a comment below. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and check out some of the other episodes of Why We Like and the other half of this series, Why We Don't Like.